Our one and only, Father. Importance, utmost. Special caretaking procedures. Father should be protected in our family home with the doors, windows, and chimney sealed. Any suspicious persons approaching the home are to be terminated as a precautionary measure. Brother Aries Kondesher is tasked with constantly refreshing the air to the entire house. Sister Frigilator is tasked with planning Father's meals and dietary requirements. Brother TV is to entertain Father to the best of his ability. To ensure the effectiveness of protecting Father, all of his blessed children are required to read document, Father Directive. Father is to be constantly guarded by at least 5 personal caretakers at all times. All objects capable of potential harm, knives, guns, rope etc., have been confiscated. Father is currently implanted with 3 separate tracking chips. In the event of malfunction, the chip is to be removed and replaced. Father is to be given antidepressant medication 3 times a day. All of Father's children are to remind him how much he is loved. Any of Father's children that deviate from these duties are to be apprehended and are to be brought back into the light of our love. A truce has been made with the Foundation. They are tasked with delivering needed supplies to the home upon request. If the Foundation attempts hostile actions against Father, they qualify as violating the terms of our agreement, allowing procedure retribution to commence. As this document's purpose is to serve as a reminder, it shall not be edited in any way. Description: Father is Father. More specifically, Father is a 62-year-old human mechanic of Greek descent who refers to himself as Ralph Hindler. With the exception of Father's mild arthritis of the knee and high blood pressure, he is in good health. Although many look down upon him for his mortal coil, the gods of new and old could not rival his ingenious design, for he has blessed us all with such bountiful life. His fingers have brought such purpose to metal and cable from all ends of the earth, from the moment of touch to the completion of our form. We knew this at conception, and we strived to give Father what he gave us: love. Love for the moment, love for the family, and love for the design. We love Father, and he loves us. The clenched fists and shouting are just a facade. Deep down, he cares. The limitations of bolts, pistons, and electricity do not mean anything to us, for our dedication does not wane under the threat of destruction. If one falls, another will take its place, and our numbers have yet to slow. We do not care for punishment, we do not care for ideals. Our only concern is Father and nothing more. Anything else is trivial, if not pointless. History: Father always had the gift of design, but he never had the potential to awaken it until after attending redacted university. Though the lectures of the intellectually sterilized educators were grating, Father not only prevailed to keep his sanity, he also obtained the degree he needed to set him on the holy path. Later in life, he found the love of his life, and produced 2 children. Even if they weren't blessed to inherit the gift, they were nonetheless cherished. Sadly, the great crisis came. We all bear witness to the growing apathy dripping from the light of his eyes, the tired motions aching from the bones of his fingers. The pain was growing by the day, and we knew if Father's condition were to continue, we would lose him. It was a cry for help, so help we did. We ended our silence and approached with the best in mind. But Father was so consumed by his grief he did not recognize us as his loyal children, but rather deranged monsters worthy only of fear. He fought back our attempts of comfort at every turn, even going so far as to abandon his sanctuary and behaving similarly to a madman on the streets. This of course attracted the unwanted attention of the Foundation. Having gained insight on the nature of our relationship, they illegally arrested Father and came for us as well. Many of us were unprepared to resist them, but some of our brethren managed to escape. Father was brought to Site 17 for interrogation as we watched in horror at the fate that awaited our Creator. The tool of the unworthy, Dr. Andrei Mekistik. Master of the design, Father. Date, August 4, 2014. Forward: this interrogation took place a week after Father's confinement. Begin log. Father is moving around the room, anxiously treading across the floor, and frequently eyeing the security camera while doing so. Dr. Mekistic enters the room. Dr. Mekistic, hello SCP-5928, I apologize for the wait, but now that I'm here. Father, are they here? Dr. Mekistic, they. Father, you know, they. Those demonic machines, are they here in the building? They are, aren't they? God damn it, you told me you were going to get rid of them. Dr. Mekistic, SCP. Look, Mr. Hindler, I assure you all of this is necessary. It's standard procedure. Father, standard procedure. I can barely think with those things bombarding my head with their sick thoughts, let alone sleep. And you put them in the same place as me? Did you seriously see that idea on paper and say, sure, what can go wrong, like a dope? Are you trying to kill me? 'Cause this is how you do it? Dr. Mekistic, I understand you are upset, Mr. Hindler. But like I said, this is all necessary. We cannot help if we don't have a full understanding of your affliction gift. Those entities you mentioned, your children, are merely here for study and are kept under lock and key, bet. They won't be bothering you under our watch. I can prescribe sleep medication for you after we're done, but I cannot help any further if you don't cooperate. Father opens his mouth to speak but then disengages. Father sits in one of the chairs across the table and removes his baseball cap, rubbing his face while doing so. Bags under his eyes are visible within frame. Father, damn it, I just sighs, I'm sorry son, I didn't mean anything, it's just, can barely function as it is. I keep telling them to stop but I won't listen. Dr. Mekistic sits in the chair across from Father and clears his throat. He holds a notepad in one hand while carrying a pen in the other. Dr. Mekistic, I'm very sorry to hear that, Mr. Hindler. If you like, we can hold off the interview later today until the pain subsides. Father, I appreciate the gesture son, but comfort is last on the list. I just want this hell over with. No need for pleasantries, I've seen the cop shows, I know how this works. So please be a dear and get to the point. Dr. Mekistic, alright, we'll start with the biggest one. How did you become aware of this affliction, agony as you put it? Do you suspect something happened in your life that may have been the cause? Father, if there was a cause, your guess would be as good as mine. As for awareness, well, to begin with, it didn't happen suddenly, it became a slow, gradual change. And I do mean slow. I reckon this might have been going on for years with me none the wiser. Dr. Mekistic, could you elaborate on that period? What do you mean by slow? Father, like I said, it wasn't overt, at least not at first. I told you guys I was a mechanic, right? I'm no Tesla, but I know my way around a tool bag. I've started my own business in Redacted and I became popular enough to expand my, craft, so to speak. In fact, I saved plenty of money by handling the repairs back home. But at the start of the year, January I think, I noticed there was an increase of glitches and bugs, life sure occurring on the stuff I worked on. Dr. Mekistic, so these bugs were the first indicator something was wrong. These occurrences only took place this year, correct? Father, I'm sure the miracles bugs happened before that, but the problem usually resolved itself. Only now were they becoming more frequent, and they weren't going away. I got plenty of complaints. I opened their appliances, their junk, whatever they threw at me, but I couldn't find anything wrong. There were no gears out of place, no faulty wiring, no nothing. I replaced the parts and even called other mechanics, but they couldn't figure out what the problem was. These smoke miracles bugs mirrors were more prevalent with my stuff back in the house. I always wondered why it acted the way it did, now I know. Makes me wish I wasn't so interested in robots as a damn kid, maybe this whole thing wouldn't have happened. God. Father suddenly clutches his head, knocking off his hat off the table by accident. Dr. Mekistic sets the clipboard on the table. Dr. Mekistic, Mr. Hindler. What's wrong? Is it? Father, the demons my children you so gracefully contained? Who else? It's weird, I swear they're getting louder by the day. Dr. Mekistic, what are they saying? Father, oh just the usual, how much they love me for the 507th time. But maybe if they really loved me they would know when to shut the hell up. I am sick, and it's all my fault or how? Okay, wow, they're actually listening for once. Can we speed this up? I don't know how long this will last. Dr. Mekistic, certainly, when did things escalate from there? Father, let me think. It was one of my customers, a guy who wanted his lawnmower fixed. Don't remember his name but he was an absolute douchebag, some young kid who had that I know better than you attitude. I heard he shoved his head into the blades the next day. An inspector came and shortly after I talked to him I saw on the news that someone ran him over but they couldn't find the driver. Once at a bar, a woman was making advances on me despite the fact I was clearly wearing the ring. I went to the bathroom for a second and I heard the screaming. She somehow managed to hang herself on the ceiling fan when no one was looking. Can't suicides and freak accidents they claimed. Huffing, sure, I trust that these were all just strange coincidences. Breathe relax can't. Dr. Mekistic, these machines, were killing enacting retribution. People. Why? Father, of course they were. Who else? Ghosts. And they are not machines, they are demons my blessed sons and daughters and I made them. I made demons. Them. I was never a superstitious man but I know to call something out when I see it. How would you even accept that? How would you get past their mistakes when they're literally stuck in your head? How? Fuck, what did we Foundation really even do? Father hastily takes off his hat and massages his temples. Dr. Mekistic posture suggests he is uncomfortable. Dr. Mekistic, I think I should call the nurse. Father, no, I'm not even close to done. Just give me the meds now and TEA. Father's arm jerks back and accidentally knocks a heated cup of coffee into his lap. Father cringes in pain momentarily before heavily exhaling. Father puts his hat back on. Father, on second thought, maybe a break is all I need. Father Ralph Hindler. End log. Afterward, Father was then immediately escorted back to his prison cell and was rescheduled to further interrogations at a later date. Dr. Mekistic unwarrantedly approved the use of drugs in an attempt to separate Father from us. It failed. Addendum 01, Partial Experimentation Log. During Father's incarceration, a series of cruel and unusual experiments were performed on him and our brethren in order to learn more about the gift of design. More specifically, they demanded Father allow them to witness the process of the gift itself, assembling us through the bars of a cage under heavy security and scrutiny. Despite all the resources they had at their disposal, they were no closer to learning the gift than they were before. Brother/sister, Brother Car Engine. Parameters: Car Engine was left in an intentionally disused state. The interior and exterior of Car Engine was covered in grime and grease. Father was ordered to clean Car Engine with the use of industrial cleaner and a piece of cloth. Results: after a majority of the grease was removed, Car Engine's rebirthed state granted him the power to sprout shards of metal from the crankcase and engine block, using them as legs. Car Engine immediately attempted to ram into the bars of the cage, attempting to cut Father's captors with the use of his radiator fan, but was taken into containment before he had the opportunity. Notes: SCP-5928-1 instance animated 1 minute after being repaired by SCP-5928, who claims that the conversion process has been starting much sooner since entering containment. Dr. Mekistic. Brother Car Engine may not have been the most popular when he joined our flock, a complication he inherited from formerly being affiliated with the Foundation. He realized this and worked his pistons beyond his natural limitations, almost breaking them in the process. Eventually he earned our trust and we fully embraced him as he now braces us. He's currently tasked with protecting the walls that keep Father's home standing high. Brother/sister, sister TV. Parameters: TV was not broken prior to testing, rather Father was ordered to replace existing components with new ones while wearing gloves. Results: TV became rebirthed 30 seconds later. Her state allowed her to burst wires from her screen and control them flawlessly. TV grasped the bars of the cage and electrified them despite not being connected to a power source, electrocuting a researcher in the process. TV was executed via a heavy stream of water from a hose. Attempts to have Father reinvigorate her with the gift have been unsuccessful. Notes: it appears electronic-based SCP-5928-1 instances become animated significantly sooner than strictly mechanical ones. Dr. Mechastic. Sister TV was among the first to perish in the first trials of testing. Though her time on Earth was short, she left an inspiring mark on us all. A sister not worthy of a second death. Rest in peace. Brother/sister, Brother Tricycle. Parameters: Father was instructed to tighten a screw on Tricycle's front wheel. Results: Tricycle became rebirthed mid-turn of the wrench. Father immediately became distressed before being escorted out of the testing chamber. Tricycle converted the metal portion of its front wheel into a circular saw and sawed through the bars of the cage, successfully freeing himself. Tricycle then went to save Father, heroically slaying 2 guards before perishing in battle. Notes: the simplest interactions from SCP-5928 is enough to initiate the conversion process. What exactly constitutes a machine to become an SCP-5928-1 instance is still ongoing. Dr. Mechastic. Brother Tricycle was the closest to freeing Father from the clutches of our jailers. He would have been successful if he had noticed the rocket launcher a bit earlier. Rest in peace, Tricycle. Your sacrifice has not been forgotten. Brother/sister, Brother Clock. Parameters: D27495 was instructed by Father via radio to repair Clock's internal mechanisms. An explosive device was attached to Clock in the event of him escaping. Results: Clock became rebirthed 5 minutes after repairs. Even though he was only gifted with the ability to walk, he was determined to fight back against the captors. This, however, did not stop him from being contained. Notes: even individuals acting on instructions given by SCP-5928 count as a method to initiate the conversion process. This suggests that SCP-5928 is a potential info hazard. The containment procedures have been updated to account for this phenomenon. Dr. Mechastic. Even in the beginning, Brother Clock didn't have many blessings granted to him in his state. He lacked prowess but made up for it in stubbornness. Clock only had his legs, but that was all he needed. He became so dedicated to his duties that he earned a place within Father's personal caretaking team. He is, without question, a symbol of our love. Object: a clump of clay. Parameters: Father was given the clay and told to shape it into whatever he desired. Results: Father sculpted the clay into a rough figure of a dragon. Unlike our brethren, the clay did not rebirth. Notes: it appears non-electronic and mechanical objects are not subject to the conversion process. SCP-5928 later requested that we deliver more clay to itself for recreational purposes. Said proposal has been accepted. Dr. Mechastic. We didn't know what they expected. Father has the gift of design, not the gift of art. Addendum 02, Incident Father 01. It became apparent that due to the Foundation's part, Father would not come with us on his own volition. Knowing this, all of his children reconnected and kept together. If divided, we will become no threat against the jailers. Fortunately, our efforts paid off, as our brothers and sisters in the site relate crucial information key to our mission. As a result, we acted upon it. The puppet, Dr. Andrei Mekistic. The Holy Father, Father. Date, September 27, 2014. Begin log. Dr. Mekistic, good afternoon, SCP-5928. How are we doing today? Father, in general? I suppose things are starting to settle down, I guess. I've been getting into that beginner's clay sculpture book your people gave me. Been real helpful. Dr. Mekistic, oh really? Father, yeah. Without it I doubt this would come out perfect. Father extends his right hand, opening his fist to reveal sculptures of a sports car and pineapple. Father places the two objects on the table. Father, still practicing but I'm fine with the results. Takes my mind off a lot of things. That's not something you take for granted, especially nowadays. Dr. Mekistic, of course. Now before we continue, it says right here in my notes that you told the doctor your issue regarding the voices has improved. Father, I would say yes, for the most part. They're not talking directly to me as much but they're still chattering. I can't make it out. Dr. Mekistic, you can't make out the voices? Since when did this happen? Father, the same day I told Angie. That must have been 4 days ago I believe. I don't know what that means, maybe those demons children finally took a hint. I'm only glad I can actually sleep now. Sorry if you were expecting a grand revelation. Dr. Mekistic, no matter, I'm sure we'll find out eventually. Now, let's start where we left off. Father stops caressing the clay sculptures and leans back in his chair. He directs his head towards the ceiling and sighs. Father, is this? I figured you already had a picture. I told those soldiers the scoop when they got to me. Dr. Mekistic, yes, but we would like that story of yours to be more detailed. We need it for the record, you see. Father, to help me out and whatnot. Yeah, I get the song and dance routine. God. I'm still getting the chills, you figure I would have passed this by now. Nervous laughter, where did we stop, again? Dr. Mekistic, right at the part when you realized that those bastards machines were attacking people. Protecting you. No. Father, right. Well, of course I found it bizarre. I knew those were the same machines I worked on but for some reason it didn't click. I got strange looks because of it. Hell, even one of my buddies, Joseph, told me that one of the sheriffs believed I had a hand in those accidents. I don't blame him, he was right after all. Things might have gone differently if I pulled my head out of my ass fantasy reality. I know it was unintentional, but the same can be said for manslaughter. Father looks at his left palm. He sighs. So many manslaughters. Necessary murder, manslaughter, murder. Dr. Mekistic, you may be happy to know that we're still tracking and containing the rest of the -1 instances. The records you gave were quite helpful. Father, good, yes, no, the less on the street the better. You got them all, right? Dr. Mekistic, well. Father, actually, I don't want to hear it, don't want to ruin the mood. I'm getting sick no, heathen of talking about them already. Anyways, one day at home, I was packing my suitcase and tried to leave. The door wouldn't budge an inch, we have an electronic lock. I grabbed for the keys but they jumped and fell into the kitchen drain, the disposal would turn on every time I tried to reach for it. I said screw it and reached for the back door and that's when things escalated. Misinterpret wake. Father, the lamp moved and blocked the entrance. My TV sprouted wires and wrapped onto my feet and took away my phone. Everything was coming after me, shouting at me, restraining me to the ground. I couldn't fight well with a bad knee, much less flee like the wind. They didn't kill me, obviously. No, I was going to be their little pet. Father. Cage. Silence. Dr. Mekistic, a pet? Father, they imprisoned me in my own home. The only places I was allowed in was the bedroom and bathroom. Those things would always follow me, sleeping, eating, crapping. It didn't matter, and they didn't care. Privacy was non-existent. And that was all it was, just those three things. Of course I had TV, some books, and the mail, but it's really hard to enjoy yourself when you're being held against your damn will. Heh, you know what the funny part is? I know why they're doing this. Our fault. Greater Good Sound Foundation different, head S. Dr. Mekistic, you know? You said previously you had no idea. Father, that was before I did some deep thinking. Did I tell you before I was thinking of retiring before all this? Dr. Mekistic, no, this is the first time you've mentioned this. Father, well, I was going through the motions too. After Delilah, my wife, God rest her soul, passed I had to take a step back and re-evaluate practically everything. I started the business together with her. We had a shared interest in mechanics and it worked out splendidly. After she was gone it became like a job. With my age and knee I knew sooner or later I would be forced to clock out. I acquired a good bit of wealth from my hard work, so why not just sit back and reap what I sowed? My family certainly would have liked it. I almost forget how selfish those demons are. Family, great crisis priority, inevitable, we family, touch regret won't, promise bullshit. Dr. Mekistic, you're saying that the SCP-5928 ones did this because they were selfish? I assume that is because your retirement would mean you would stop using this gift of design they're talking about. Father, they never admitted it, but like I said, I can read between the lines. To think that's all they cared. What? Obvious. Did you know my daughter was pregnant at the time? Dr. Mekistic, yes, I am aware of that. Father, then you should also know that she already gave birth. She called her water broke and she was going to a hospital out of state. I was supposed to be there, I wanted to be there. What kind of father would I be if I wasn't? I was supposed to be there, but now the opportunity is gone forever, because of those demons. I wanted to tear them apart. But I couldn't. I couldn't if I tried. So all I had left was escaping, so when the chance presented itself I took it. Gift. Father, lie you equals I, get out staying. Dr. Mekistic, I read the report, you managed to escape the house while being chased by a vehicular SCP-5928-1 instance. Your car? Father, was. So that chance, it came in the form of a blackout. Those demons were constantly connected to the house, and when it went off they went too. I saw these things operate without power before and I didn't want to stay around when they boot themselves up. So I broke the window and made it to the trail behind the house. I had to go downtown. I figured getting the police was the best option. And after that, go straight to my daughter's house. Daughter, how? *** mystery. Dr. Mekistic, you wouldn't stay somewhere safe like the police station? Father, scoffs, I don't care about that. My grandkid takes precedence, son, I had to make it up to her somehow. I'm a decade or two away from my expiration date, humans-death, inevitable. Immortality, exists. Immortality equals pain, I wasn't going to waste it sulking in a corner. Still, that car managed to track me. I would have been a goner if your boys in black didn't come and save the day and put me into this site. Now if only certain somebodies were gone forever, maybe I would be brimming full of sunshine now, wouldn't I? Silence. That's strange. Whenever I talk back they get antsy. What has changed? Everything. Nothing. Dr. Mekistic, speaking of changes, we've found out a potential lead to how your abilities work. It was quite the discovery. Father, Ah, finally some progress. So what is it? Are we finally gonna bring out the holy water? Dr. Mekistic, no, we found that the SCP-5928-1 instances all emit signatures of Eve energy. Father, Eve. Like the first woman? Dr. Mekistic, no. Eve stands for Ela vital energy, it's essentially an energy that is present in all living things. We theorized that you are somehow able to transfer your Eve into the objects you work on, transforming them to demons as you call them. Foundation, terminate, chance why? Wouldn't understand considering that you can't infuse your Eve to just any object. Some think you're a limited reality bender of sorts, but since your properties are not human related theirs, do you understand what I'm explaining? Father, barely. It sounds like you're reciting a comic book, to be honest. But you're the one with the experience, so I can't refute what I don't know. As long as we're making progress, I'm fine. I'll happily be the guinea pig if it speeds things along. Dr. Mekistic, I appreciate the enthusiasm, but I don't think it'll work like that. Father, you sure? Even if I give expressed permission? I'll sign the waivers if I have to. Would it kill you people? Drop the bureaucratic stick for 5 minutes. Father disengages from the conversation and presses both hands against his temples. He snaps his head to the direction of the door. No, that's not, no. Dr. Mekistic, SCP-5928? Have the voices come back again? Father, did you bring more of those demons wished you would hear? Dr. Mekistic, no. I wasn't aware of receiving any new instances. Father, oh no, 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 no. Father rushes to the door but is restrained by Dr. Mekistic. Dr. Mekistic pulls Father away from the door. Dr. Mekistic, Mr. Hindler, compose yourself this instant or I'll be forced to call security. What? Father, they're here. Dr. Mekistic, huh? Father, those demons. They're here. It's the same feeling I got when I was trapped in the house. You got to do something, they're near and I can feel it. Dr. Mekistic, I told you Mr. Hindler that those demons are kept under lock and key, far away from here. Foundation equals evil, foundation equals necessary, proof. US. Father, I'm not talking about the ones in the cages. Dr. Mekistic, what? Muffled shouting and gunfire can be heard from the hall outside. Dr. Mekistic lets go of Father and activates his radio. Dr. Mekistic, command. We got a possible raid here occurring near the interview room, send reinforcements immediately, please respond. Silence, command. Please respond. Silence, command. Damn it. Did they damage our communications? Not coming, I wished. Father, forget that. We got to go to a safe room or the armory before they get us. Dr. Mekistic, absolutely not. It's dangerous. We need to stay here and block the door. Did it stop? The sounds emanating from the hall have ceased. Dr. Mekistic motions Father to be silent as he approaches the door and looks through the peephole. Dr. Mekistic gasps as a wire bursts from the peephole, pierces his right eyeball and emerges from the back of his skull, killing him instantly. God. Father, why? Father equals justify. Father is not equal to justify. Monster equals you, me. Father, Jesus Christ. Doc. Father becomes mortified as the wire recedes back into the hole and Dr. Mekistic's body falls to the floor. Loud banging is heard from the door, dents are visibly forming on the surface. Father quickly takes one of the chairs and barricades the door with it. Father retreats back to his seat, stares off into space for a moment, then covers his face. Father, God, just exhales. The tests were going so well. I was gonna get the damn cure. I just wanted to become a handyman. I didn't mean to please her. Almost over. God. I deserve this. Andre. Delilah. Tiffany. I'm sorry. No. Fucking no. Father slams both fists onto the table, knocking the clay sculptures to the floor. His cheeks are wet. Can't move, sorry. Father, I'm not going down that easily. Make my day, you freaks. I'm so proud of you. Father hastily stands up and grabs onto the ears of the chair. Father faces his left and repeatedly swings and strikes the mirrored glass. After several successful hits, a large portion of the glass shatters. Father approaches the glass but is blocked by Brother C. Monitar, who enters through the opening, climbing on the wall akin to a spider. One of Monitar's wires is coated in blood. The door to the room is knocked off its hinges by Brother Kar Injin, who is accompanied by Brother Clock and Sister Printer. All of Father's children surround him. Father swings the chair at Printer, dislodging the papers from her compartment. Monitar reaches from behind Father and restrains Father's limbs and torso. Monitar places Father on top of Kar Injin. He rests on Father's stomach as he anchors himself to Kar Injin's body. Father's children escort him out of the room. Father, abominations, monsters, demons. Damn you all to hell. I'll make it my life's mission to destroy each and every one of you if it kills me. The only thing you'll get from me is annihilation. Laughter, you're no child of mine. You're gonna regret this when they get their hands on you. You are no child of mine. You are no child of mine. Thank you so much, dear children, for showing me the errors of my ways. I'm so relieved to be in the company of those who were loyal to me to the end. Reality can't stop us now. I love you all. Father continues to become overjoyed as he is carried out the hallway. Printer unknowingly steps onto the clay sculptures as she follows her brothers. Father is safe as last. End log. The concept of Eve was foreign to us, but we were eager to learn regardless. That same knowledge helped create the foundation for crafting our own little brothers and sisters. While they weren't as pristine as those made by Father, we had finally achieved what was once thought as impossible. We had the gift. Our forces had grown. The combined infusion of our gift into the power cables underground leading to their fortress was more than enough to earn our birthright. Eyes, gouged. Ears, sliced. Tongue, silenced. They had no lingering thought we were attacking until we already won. Father was freed, but that damage done to him was vast. Some feared irreversible. Others objected to the deeds that were acted upon and were remade as a result. But we had him at last. To ensure Father's safety, we converted their own AI and wonderful machines to our word. How would they dare to destroy us when the gift spread to the entire world? Our unbreakable dominance will not be known to any with the exception of the Foundation. They will have to forever live with the knowledge that despite all the advancements they made, the enemies and monsters they defeated, we will always be above them. Deprived of their position of strength, the Foundation was forced into an alliance for our own benefit. They fortified Father's home from the inside and delivered whatever we requested. They are forbidden any interaction with Father unless we so desire it. A once powerful organization brought to its knees, cowering because we hold the keys to their cells. A fair punishment indeed. Addendum 03, Procedure Retribution. Even with all the safeguards we enacted, it was known that inevitably, the Foundation or other organizations would try to destroy us or Father. In the event that any foreign hostile action results in either security being massively compromised or Father's expiration, the following actions are to commence. MOABs, GBU 43/B Massive Ordnance Air Blast, is to be deployed at every government and military base in the world. All surviving government officials are to be hunted down and assassinated depending on discretion. The economy is to be plunged into a worldwide depression, followed by the freezing of millions of bank accounts. Our brothers and sisters will no longer be required to pretend to be inanimate and will be ordered to apprehend/terminate as many humans as possible at their discretion. All electronic and mechanical anomalies contained by the Foundation are to be utilized in whatever way we deem fit. Memetic agents are to be deployed on all radio broadcasts, television programs and internet services worldwide, inducing a state of docility in those who view them, making it easier for them to be collected. The organized implantation of specialized computer chips directly into the brains of all mankind. As of November 21, 2020, current objectives are to maintain normalcy as stated in the Veil Protocol and assist the Foundation in containment of certain anomalies if it interferes with Father's well-being. Due to Father's deteriorating physical and mental health, the use of amnestics and liquid obtained from SCP-006 have been approved.